Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. In this opportunity, our group will discuss about neurolinguistics. And the member of the group are Herdinda, Odelia, Kirana, Umair, Dafiudin, Ahmad, and also me, Putri, Etsa, Akmalia. First, we will discuss about the definition of neurolinguistics. Neurolinguistics is the study of the neural mechanism in the human brain that control the comprehension, production, and acquisition of language. As an interdisciplinary field, neurolinguistics draw methods and theories from fields such as neuroscience, linguistics, cognitive science, and communication disorders, and neuropsychology. And the second, we will discuss about the history of neurolinguistics. Neurolinguistics is historically rooted in the development in the 19th century of aphasiology, the study of linguistic deficit occurring as a result of the brain damage. Aphasiology attempts to correlate structure to function by analyzing the effect of the brain injuries on language processing. One of the first people to draw a connection between a particular brain area and language processing was Paul Broca, a French surgeon who conducted autopsies of numerous individuals who had speaking deficiencies and found that most of them had brain damage on the left frontal lobe in an area known as Broca's area. Phrenologists had made the claim in the early 19th century that different brain regions carried a different function, and that language was mostly controlled by the frontal regions of the brain. But Broca's research was possibly the first to offer empirical evidence for such a relationship, and has been described as epoch-making and pivotal to the fields of neurolinguistics and cognitive science. Later, Wernicke, after whom Wernicke's area is named, proposed that different areas of the brain were specialized for different linguistic thoughts, with Broca's area handling the motor product of speech and Wernicke's area handling auditory speech comprehension. The work of Broca and Wernicke established in the field of aphasiology and the idea that language can be studied through examining physical characteristics of brain. Early work in aphasiology also benefited from the early 20th century work of Carbinian Brodmann, who mapped the surface of the brain, dividing it up into numbered areas based on each area, architecture, and function. This area, known as Brodmann area, are still widely used in neuroscience today.
Interaction with other fields, subfield, description, research question in neurolinguistics, phonetics, the study of speech sounds, how the brain extracts speech sounds from an acoustic signal, how the brain separates speech sounds from background noise, phonology, the study of how sounds are organized in language, how the phonological system of a particular language is represented in the brain, morphology and lexicology, the study of how words are structured and stored in a mental lexicon, how the brain stores and accesses words that a person knows. Syntax, the study of how multiple words utterance are constructed, how the brain combines words into constituent sentence, how structural and semantic information is used in understanding sentence. Semantic, the study of how meaning is encoded in language. Topics considered. Neurolinguistic research investigated several topics, including where language information is processed, how language processing unfolds over time, how brain structures are related to language acquisition and learning, and how neurophysiology can contribute to speech and language pathology. Localizations of language processes. Much work in neurolinguistics has, like Progress and Wernicke's early studies, investigated the location of specific language modules within the brain. Research questions include what course language information follows through the brain as it is processed, whether or not particular areas specialize in processing particular sorts of information, how different brain regions interact with one another in language processing, and how the location of brain activation differ when a subject is producing or perceiving a language other than his or her first language. Time course of language processes. Another area of neurolinguistic literature involves the use of electrophysiological techniques to analyze the rapid processing of language in time. The temporal ordering of specific patterns of brain activity may reflect discrete compositional processes that the brain undergoes during language processing. For example, one neurolinguistic theory of sentence parsing proposed that three brain response DA-line N400 and P600 are products of three different steps in synthetic and semantic processing.
Language acquisition. Another topic is the relationship between brain structure and language acquisition. Research in first language acquisition has already established that infants from all linguistic environments go through similar and predictable stages, such as babbling. And some neurolinguistic research attempts to find correlation between stage of language development and stage of brain development, while other research investigates the physical change known as neuroplasticity that the brain undergoes during second language acquisition. When adults learn a new language, neuroplasticity is observed when both second language acquisition and language learning experience are induced. The result of this language exposure concludes that an increase of gray and white matter could be found in children, young adults, and the elderly. Language pathology. Neurolinguistic techniques are also used to study disorders and breakdowns in language, such as aphasia and dyslexia, and how they relate to physical characteristics of the brain. Technology use. Since one of the focuses of this field is the testing of linguistic and physico-linguistic models, the technology used for experiment is highly relevant to the study of neurolinguistics. Modern brain imaging techniques have contributed greatly to a growing understanding of the anatomical organization of linguistic function. Brain imaging methods used in neurolinguistics may be classified into hemodynamic methods, electrophysiological methods, and methods that stimulate the cortex directly. And I think that's all for our presentation. If you have any question, feel free to ask us. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.